There are quite notable differences between the face-to-face teaching environment and the online environment. Within our workspace, we are able to facilitate the delivery of our classes with by electronic means. We have a copier, scanner, fax machine, we have a laptop, we have readily available telephone access to contact our schools at any time.
The most important factor of being an e-teacher is having with you good practices and a good understanding of the philosophy of the subject that you're teaching. So for teaching second language, you're going to take your knowledge and your theories and philosophies and transfer them into the online learning environment. And I think first and foremost, those are the most important skills to have. The technology skills are a work in progress. I did bring some technology skills with me, perhaps a moderate amount. I was comfortable with using a word processor and the regular equipment that you would see in a traditional school, such as fax machines and scanners and that sort of thing. However, there is a very specific skill set that goes along with being an online teacher. However, I found that the training and the professional development that has been offered to me has been tremendous, and there has been quite a focus on ensuring that my skills are developing and my comfort levels are improving all the time. While it's been a tremendous learning curve, in fact sometimes we joke and say that the curve has been a straight line up this year in terms of the technology, I do feel that that is secondary to the teaching side, and that really the teaching skills that you've developed over the course of your career are really what you bring to it, and the technology just allows you to migrate into the online learning environment.
The notion of being a second language teacher, of course, is always front and center, and focusing on the development of the 4 skills that are crucial and that are the signposts of second language learning. The technology and how that contributes to your ability to enhance that and to develop those skills for students, marrying those two is, yes, challenging, but it's also very interesting. And it's created an opportunity for me as an e-teacher to give some second thought to my teaching strategies, to how I deliver my classes and to whom I'm delivering my classes.
When you're teaching online, the planning process is extremely important. It requires a great deal of thought and preparation in advance. So when Val and I are getting ready to plan a new topic, we will sit down and we'll talk about where we want to go with this, what are the goals, what types of activities would we like to integrate, how can we best develop the 4 language learning areas. So a lot of thought goes into it in advance. And then the actual presentation in the classroom is very demanding on your time. You can't step into an online classroom and be unprepared. You want your materials well organized and loaded into your classroom in advance. And of course we try to use multimedia, so we think of creative ways, that creative ideas that will be appealing to the students, that will draw them in, that will encourage them to participate in the class. So it really does require a lot of thought, and the preparation in advance is very time consuming. It's well worth it in the end if you feel that you've been successful in accomplishing what you had set out to do, but it takes a couple of hours really to get ready for each class that you're going to teach.
There's also opportunities to bring the web directly into the classroom, and so the access to the authentic image text is immediate, and you can call on students for responses to things that are timely, that are of huge interest to them, and it's a tool that in my experience I haven't been able to utilize to the same extent in a face-to-face environment, largely because the technology isn't available, but also because the students in our classes as e-teachers have that expectation and that level of comfort with the technology, so that it's very much normal course for them in their classes. Once you're in the classroom as an e-teacher, there's also a very different dynamic as opposed to your role as a face-to-face second language teacher. Yes, you are leading, you are guiding and directing what's happening in the classroom. I feel many times that there are other roles as well. The students may be texting you privately on a particular concept or particular matter that they wish to discuss. So there's the management of the direct messaging that goes on simultaneously with your teaching. So when we talk about multitasking, there's that aspect of it as well. There's also the notion of setting an atmosphere that's going to make the students feel that this is their class. It isn't the class that they're used to, it isn't the class that they may have 5 times a day, but it has to be a place that they want to come, that they feel comfortable coming to, and that they're willing to take those risks that are so important as a second language learner. And we all know as teachers of second language that it's getting students to that point where they're not afraid of making the mistake, that they realize that by doing so it will enable them to improve as they go forward. So setting the tone of your classroom when you don't have that physical space has been an interesting challenge as well.